You ever see a couple and you just look at them saying, "Oh wow, like that's a relationship I wish I had." Like they enjoy each other. They look at each other with love. You know they probably having a lot of great sex. This is like that is a loving, sexy couple. And then the other couples you see it, you look at either somebody's really happy or somebody's really sad. Either they're both sad or they're both mad. But I love seeing couples who work, and and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds is that couple because it's so hard to root for other couples these days. Like whenever I look at a couple, it's like, oh wow, they're a great couple. They end up breaking up, like Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert. Like I knew they had like a crazy personal life, but at the same time, it's like they seem to work. They seem to be compatible, and now Tiana Taylor owns 4 of the homes and Shumpert's living in a shack. So it's like, what? That's why I tend to like older couples, like Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance, Denzel Washington and his wife Paulette, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. Like I like those couples because they've been together for a long time. They love each other and they work on their relationship. Like Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. I mean, the way Kate Hudson describes it, they still can't keep their hands off each other, which is crazy because they've been together for over 40 years. So that's the type of love that you wish that most people had. So I'm going to go into why I think Blake and Ryan works. And I think it's because of fun, compatibility, chemistry, understanding, and sacrifice, especially sacrifice on Blake's part. But these things are going to weave in and out. So it's not like I got like number one, number two is that they all come together. But the first thing I want to talk about is fun. Ryan Reynolds is a very witty guy. He's been witty in Van Wilder. What's it, Two Guys and Girls in a Pizza Place. Deadpool, The Proposal. In interviews, he's always witty. Like, I like seeing him. I just like his mind. Because I have the same type of mind. I have witty responses, witty jokes. I don't have the same bank account as Ryan Reynolds, but my mind works just that fast. And when you're dating people, it's always interesting because like, oh my God, you're so funny. Oh man, you're so smart. But I think for Ryan, the women, however, that I come across that knocks me off my feet are women who, if I say something witty, they have a witty response back. Or they make me laugh. Or I say something to them and they have a very intelligent response to what I said. And whenever those things ever happen, if she makes me laugh, make me think, whatever, it's like, oh my God, I think I love you. Because that woman is forcing you to use your mind. You can't do your usual song and dance you can do on everybody else. Like this woman here is different. Like she kind of gets me and gets the joke. Like I think the same thing happened to George Clooney. Like when George Clooney always said, I'm not getting married, I'm not having any kids. And usually when he dated a lot of these women before Amal, he was probably the smartest one in the relationship. He was talking about Fur, he's talking about politics. It's like, oh my God, George, you're so smart. But then he meets Amal and she's a lawyer. She's a humanitarian. She's just like, and George is kind of like, oh wow, like she's way smarter than me. I need to marry her because she's like nobody I've ever dated. And now he's been married for years with twins. So that's what happens. Like if you're a quick-witted guy, when you meet somebody who matches your intelligence level or just makes you think or try to make you think better. It's like, oh my God, I need to go into the lab and work on my jokes or improve my intelligence. I think he got that with Blake. And also too, like Ryan has anxiety. So I think Blake might be a person who, when Ryan isn't feeling like the best, she comes in there and kind of calms him down or reassures him. Like I have social anxiety. So I think it's hard for people. You don't know what's going on inside somebody's body. So some days I might be really great and really witty, or some days I might be witty, but it's just kind of like I'm inside my shell. And it's hard for people to see what's going on with you. Like I told my therapist recently, I was like, if I drink, it might have been easier for me in relationships because someone might say, okay, the reason he's acting this way is because he's drinking. So we have to stop him from drinking. When you're dealing with mental health stuff, people don't know what you're going on inside. And even though they might care, most people just don't know how to deal with that. And sometimes they kind of bail. It's like, I don't know how to deal with this. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know how to deal with this. So in Blake's case, she might be a person that just knows how to deal with Ryan whenever he feels kind of anxious. Like she might be able to step in for him, or she might be able to pull him out of his shell or whatever feelings he's having. So that's important. Another thing that's crucial to their marriage is what happened with Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson was Ryan's first wife, and they had a very quiet marriage. Um, Scarlett and Ryan got married in 2008. That they divorced in 2011. Um, and at that time, Scarlett was a super mega star, and Ryan was he was working. He was making films, so he still didn't find that one role that fully broke him out yet. Deadpool was still years down the road. So in that marriage, you know, you have two A-list stars, and someone would have to take a back seat. And at that point, Scarlett was not taking a back seat. She was super sexy Scarlett Johansson back then. She was on her way of making Iron Man 2 when they were married, and when she was like super sexy Black Widow. And at that time, she probably wasn't even thinking about being a mom. She in her second marriage, she had a kid, but at that time, I don't think she was even thinking about being a mom. And Ryan has proven because him and Blake are about to have their fourth child, and he said recently that he'd love to have more. And, you have to negotiate that with Blake because Blake is like 36, and four kids is a lot. They might be able to have a fifth, but he might have to negotiate that one. But Ryan probably wanted to have kids with Scarlett, but Scarlett probably wasn't ready to be a mom yet. So you know, these things like taking the back seat. And what I mean by taking a back seat was somebody in that career with those two. Ryan would have had taken a back seat to Scarlett because Scarlett was the bigger star. But Ryan was not ready to take a back seat because if he did, we probably wouldn't have him in Deadpool. Ryan was still searching for his stardom at that point, and Scarlett was not going to give up her career. And so here's Blake. And Blake, when they got together, her film career was just kind of really getting going, but she decided that she loved Ryan, and she was okay with having kids. So she put her career on the back burner. And now, even though she was still making films, she wasn't making as many films that she could have been if she wasn't married. But she seemed to be happy. Like, she seemed to be happy with the career she has because she has a film out now, I think, with, whereas Deadpool and Wolverine are out, she has a film out. So she's still making stuff, but she didn't have the career that she could have had. But she's happy being a mom and happy being a wife. Like, the thing that Oprah was trying to convey to women back in the day is like, you can have it all. Like, you can't. Either A, you're going to have a great relationship and an okay career, or or a great career. No, either a great career and an okay relationship, or a great relationship and an okay career. You can't have it all. And Blake traded in her career for a great relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you want to have the great career, then, your relationship, usually women who have these great careers, no fault of their own, but they end up being in multiple divorces or multiple relationships just because they can't find someone who fits them. And Blake is probably far happier with our part-time acting career than a lot of people who have great acting careers and not anyone to share it with. I think Bill D. Williams said that in Mahogany. He said to Diana Ross, like, something, I'm paraphrasing. I mean, what good is a great career if you have no one to share it with or something like that? So I like them as a couple. I hope they stick it out because, like this thing says up above, Blake Lively claps back at rumors she and Ryan Reynolds are divorcing, and she said, "Yeah, y'all wish." And who knows? Like, I hope they stay together. I don't know if they will. I hope they will because I like seeing happy, loving couples. So in the comments below, tell me about a couple uh, that you think are happy, or give me reasons what make a great relationship. Because I think there's a lot of people out there who really don't know what makes relationships work, and they're trying to make it work. But give me your three tips on how to make a great relationship work.